Hey y'all, welcome back to InDFlix, where we break down your favorite shows one episode at a time. Today, we are recapping Love is Blind Season 10, Episode 5, and this is a big one. The pods are officially coming to an end. That means final decisions, final dates, final goodbyes, and the last round of proposals. Some connections solidify, some fall apart, and not everyone walks out engaged. Let's get into it. So, as I stated in my previous video, Kevin was left with nothing. He came back the next day after that whole huge turn of events with Tyler, and she did not meet him in the pods at all. She didn't come in later on. She decided to walk away from the experiment, leaving Kevin alone. And he went back in the guy's room and they kind of, reassured him like, hey, maybe you dodged a bullet. They found, it was upset, but he kind of understood why she made that decision just again, based off of their last conversation. And honestly, I'm happy it kind of went this way. It wasn't going to turn out good if she would have stayed, even if he were to propose to her and they move forward, because they will always have this lingering thought about Kia. So these two definitely went their separate ways. And to Kevin, he's thinking, Kia was never a number two. I was balancing both women. So, at this point, I should just pursue everything with Kia now. Kevin, in true Kevin fashion, is gearing up to talk to Kia and give her all these, compliments and the amazing woman she is, and trying to reassure her that she was never number two in his books. And, how he's kind of looking forward to progressing things with her. But that conversation doesn't get too far out, because then Kia comes in and basically tells him like, look, I know you're an amazing man. You'll be an amazing husband, but, and I have love for you. I'm just not in love with you. Mic drop, right? I wasn't expecting it. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I feel a little bit away about it because, girl, if you knew all this roller coaster ride and everything that's going on between him and Tyler having these crash outs, and now all of a sudden Tyler has excused herself from the situation and he's about to be all about you. Why now all of a sudden you're not ready for this? Like, she literally told him, you are not ready to be married anybody's husband right now. It took you a night to figure that out, because literally just a day ago, you were cool. You guys had things to think on. And I don't know, maybe the Tyler crash outs could have affected how she views him, and him unable to make a decision the way he needed to. But I don't know. I just feel like if you're not falling in love with someone, you definitely ain't gonna be able to do it overnight, right? But she basically also calls it a quits. She's no longer wants to go through with the experiment. She's doing her whole thing. I'm choosing me over this situation, which, good for you. I just think it could have came a lot sooner and it didn't have to cause all of this disruption in all three of their process, right? So let me know if y'all in the comments agree with how Kia handled it. I do love that girl. And she did, stand on business, but it was just the timing was just a little off-putting for me. So that's the end of our trio. Kevin doesn't leave with anybody. He is single, and I don't know what's going to happen moving forward when they have an episode where all the singles get to meet. So that will be very interesting to see, what happens, maybe even outside of this, if he reconnected with either one woman. I don't think Kia would be open to it, but I'm curious if Tyler would. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. It kind of sucks, though. We can't see either one further on in this journey, but, it wasn't going to work out regardless of which way it went, honestly. So this was the best decision. Leads us into our last proposal for the show between Emma and Mike. Mike is really gun-ho of changing Emma's mind about this baby situation. And I'm telling y'all now, it's not going to be good. But they meet up and, he's staring, just at her. And surprisingly, he does not mention a scar on her arm. I mean, I know he already came in there knowing there was going to be a scar. He just didn't know like how big or anything like that. But he didn't have any discussion surrounding it at all. And that's not to say I don't think they're not going to have a discussion. Like, I feel like you have to acknowledge what's there, right? Like, and just acknowledging it doesn't mean you're against it or with it. It's just acknowledging because it is a part of her. But, he chose just to focus more just on her face. And he also admits that this is his first time dating out of his ethnicity. So this will be actually interesting because he couldn't tell by her voice that she was Asian. And, she just sounded like a regular white girl. So that's another thing that we might have to dive into because, especially dating out your ethnicity, it being new, you're going to be accustomed to a whole different culture change. And I wonder if he can be with it. Granted, she has been raised by white parents. So there may not be too much of a big difference, but we'll see further on. Brittany and Devontae also see each other for the first time since their engagement. Did anybody else catch the awkwardness? I don't know. They were kind of sitting a little too far apart from me when they got together. And then I just couldn't tell if they were interested in each other physically. Because Brittany was making comments about, we all going to get big at one point in life. I'm like, so you think he big? I don't know. I don't know. And this one's questionable for me. Devontae also mentions that he's never dating anyone of color. So he's only dated white girls. And he is biracial, if I'm not mistaken. So this is his first time dating someone of color. She is Hispanic. He could not tell by her voice that she was Hispanic. So this is interesting to see. I think also this episode also shared them being on the getaway. They're in Cabo. And you can kind of see maybe the walls breaking down as far as physical attraction. They are, intimate. They're kissing each other here and there. But they are really gun-ho focused on appearances. She is admiring his eyes or whatever. And he's just trying to, I guess, feel a little bit more comfortable of dating a different race than I guess what he's used to. So this is another couple that I don't know if they have a challenge upcoming, but we'll have to see because love is blind, but you can only be blind for so long. And I think that's starting to settle in for some of them. So that's all of our couples. Victor and Christine actually did not go with all the other couples. They went, majority of the couples went to Mexico, Cabo, Mexico. Victor and Christine went to California. So I don't know. That was the first thing I was like, that's a first. Why are they separate from everybody else? I don't know. Maybe it's passport related. Someone can't leave the country, license. I don't know what it is. But I would like an explanation of why they weren't a part of it, because you learn a lot when they do these group settings, when all the couples meet each other, the girls are sharing their experiences, the guys sharing their experiences. A lot comes with all of them going and traveling together. So I'm a little side-eyeing this whole situation on why they were sent separately to California and not Mexico. And I don't know if we're ever going to have the opportunity to see or hear what the reason is. What do y'all think? Like, do y'all think that's a little off, that they're not joined with the other groups, the whole entire group? Let me know in the comments. I haven't spent too much time on Jessica and Chris only because there wasn't that much time to be spent on them. But they're another cute couple that's a part of this grouping. They have that instant physical attraction towards each other on the trip. They're still having their, banter back and forth. It's good vibes with them. The only thing I think that's going to be a little side eye is they mention politics. And we know how politics can get. I don't know what side she stands on. But I feel like that's going to be a deeper conversation, just the mention of it now. So we'll have to watch these two as well. We also have Amber and Jordan, which I feel like everything's kind of stagnant with them, along with Brianna and Connor. Same thing. They're both two couples I feel like are moving at a good pace and just, going with the flow of things. And then our last couple for this journey is Alex and Ashley. And they obviously already showcased their physical attraction towards each other. And now, since they're out in Cabo, we're seeing this, starting to see their sexual attraction towards each other. And at this point, just cut the cameras and let them do what they got to do. Because I'm tired of hearing about it. If he says she's dangerous one more time, I swear, I'm going to lose my mind. He just kept, you're dangerous. You're just, not like, please. Sir, relax. Just get it popping and let's move forward. But they're going to be good. I'm glad that their attraction and connection from inside the pods has followed through outside as well. So I'm not too concerned about these two. Well, that wraps up episode 5, the official end of the pods. Next up, we have the face-to-face reveals amongst the group, first impressions, and then the real-world test. Let me know in the comments which engagement surprised you the most. What do you think might struggle outside the pods? And who do you feel is the strongest going into the next phase? If you enjoyed this recap, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to InDFlix because from here on out, it only could get messier.